Buckle up, everybody.
Okay, it's confusing. Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another jam-packed edition of the End of the Night, brought to you by Film Hub. If you're an independent filmmaker and you want to get your film out to the masses, and if you want to have great platforms for your film to be seen, check out Film Hub. They're a wonderful company. They work with independent filmmakers. They get your films on so many platforms. They're a joy to work with. So check out Film Hub if you're an independent filmmaker.
And also brought to you by StreamYard. People are always wondering how our streams look professional and get the comments on there and all the pictures and keeping everything fun. It would be StreamYard. Give them a go. They have a free trial.
And Joe, what is that wonderful business that your beautiful wife and beautiful daughter have cooking?
I'm very excited about this. Hearts of the Mystic Folk, the wax melts, all natural. Check them out. Please.
Yes. You know, I want to, first off, hi, Ken. I hope you are wonderful. I am going to literally strangle our good friend CJ Robles. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I spent the weekend with my wife and daughter in Lake George and hanging out in Saratoga. And today, I was in the car because I had to drive from Lake George to back to Massachusetts to drop my daughter off back at college, and then all the way back to Pennsylvania to my house. And throughout that entire time, I kept myself away from anything that would tell me what the Jets score was. Anything. Now, I was going to do my show, my lovely little broadcast here, and lay on this couch right behind me when the show was over, and put that TV on right there, and watch the taped broadcast of the New York Jet game that I had no idea what happened. But CJ has to come on here and tell me that the Jets finally won a game.
Oh, he didn't tell you it was in the last 10 seconds of overtime.
Oh, was that really what happened?
No. Giants won their first game in overtime today.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Well, I guess. Well, thank you, CJ. I get to go to bed early now. I guess the Jets won. That's wonderful. So, Joe, how are you? How's the new house? How's the family, the wife, the kid? Everything good?
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, I'm just a bit exhausted. It's been a little overwhelming the past few weeks, so I'm trying to stay on my game.
I hear you.
The smile. I'm still waiting for you to give me info on how I'm going to be in your movie. Everybody heard about that, and it was like, what's going on?
We will talk about it the minute we are done with this program, because it's going to be fun, and it's going to be easy, and you're going to enjoy. It was a thrill. Thank you, CJ. Thank you. Is there anything else? Do you want to give me a paper cut and pour lemon juice in it, or anything?
For everybody who wasn't paying attention, that movie is Full Moon Fever, coming out early next year by David Lee Madison.
Why did that come up?
Why did that come up?
Yeah.
Well, because I was asking you about the part in the movie and everything, and you
right. I went on back to the Jets. Yes. You're actually, because the movie actually takes place in current times. There are a lot of characters and a lot of people who are appearing in the film who are talking to me via like Facebook and Skype and all those things. So I came up with a brilliant idea to have you included, and all you have to do is Skype. So You'll,
Sweet.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Either that, or you'll just continue to let that thing grow, and you'll play the werewolf. We'll save a fortune. We'll save a fortune on makeup because you
Talking about, I just trimmed it.
got that going on. Now, here's the thing, everybody. This has never happened in the history of the end of the night.
That's what every guy says.
Okay. But actually, you could. The great thing about a program is you can go back and look at them. This has never happened in the history of the end of the night. But our guest tonight, Ari Lehman, who was wonderful, a great guy, and played the very first Jason Voorhees, was not at soundcheck. So we're hoping that he pops on because we think he's coming on. If that's not the case, myself and the lovely Grunkle Scott Schiaffo are going to sing on the ukulele and the accordion Weird Al tunes is what we're going to do.
Sweet.
That's what we're gonna do. But be that as it may, let me just take a sip of water. Be that as it may, let's is Grunkle Scott in the green room?
He is. He just, boom, as soon as you said something, he popped up.
Well, we are actually blessed to have two guests tonight, and the first guest that is coming on tonight is a dear friend of both Grunkle Scott and I. So, without further ado, let's introduce the lovely, wonderfully talented Grunkle Scott Schiaffo.
Hello, good people.
Mr.
I just put a private message to you quickly. I'm having a little odd stomach upset. So if I go ashy white and bail, apologies ahead of time. I don't know what's happening. I took ginger for it, and instead of helping it seemed to have made it worse.
So, of course, the night that we have our first guest bill, Grunkle Scott's going to bill. And I will be sitting here playing Connect the Dots on my chest with the aforementioned moles that I have on there that will make the Big Dipper. Because
Wait a minute. I actually saw the boat.
What was the name of that movie with De Niro?
Oh, Cape Fear?
Cape Fear, yeah. All kidding aside, Mr. Schiaffo, if you are not feeling well, you could bow out right now, no hard feelings, and go to the toilet or wherever you need to go.
Wow.
Because
no pressure.
This isn't the first time that he was didn't he? Well, he was severely constipated one episode, as I recall.
I want to hang in there, but I'm afraid that if I do bail, that would be why.
No. We love you, Scott, and if you don't feel well, of course, bail. We don't want you not to feel good.
But don't bail before mentioning this.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, go ahead, tell.
That is Rhode Island Comic Con, November 5th through the 7th. That has, my gosh, certainly almost everybody from the first Clerks cast and the second Clerks cast. It's just so many people I can't keep track. And there you go. Okay, thank you. And there's one other very fine comic actor. And now, of course, you put me on the spot and I'm forgetting his name. But he's in Clerks 2, and he's also there. It's just like a Clerks Madness Fest. I feel terrible now that I don't know his name. Put me on the spot.
Trevor Furman.
No, he's not on this poster.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought the scroll
Mark
was
Weissman?
it up.
Is it
Kevin Weissman.
There you go. That's not a correct spelling, but he's got that hilarious bit in Clerks 2.
Oh, so Kevin is watching in from a film set starring in Concord, California. I got a break, and I'm tuning in to say hi. Last day on set, flying back home to Northern Virginia tomorrow. I love you guys. Well, we love you, Christopher, and I hope you are having a wonderful stay. You know, it's funny. When we had Andre Gower on a couple weeks ago, the legendary star of the Monster Squad, he was talking about his horrific heart attack, and this is going to blow your mind, guys. If you go back and look at it, during that episode, I got violently ill, and I was wondering if I was having some kind of cardiac episode. But it turned out that I had a horrific stomach bug that lasted almost 10 days. Luckily, we didn't have a show the week after Andre Gower because I think you were moving, and but I was still sick. But I actually started to go down feeling like shit during the Andre Gower episode. And I said, how surreal would it be if I dropped dead of a heart attack on my show while Andre Gower was talking about his? That would be really cool TV. And if I'm going to, if it's going to be the big moment and I'm going to kick the bucket, why not do it so everybody can see and be like, yeah, Andre, tell me about monsters. That would have been kind of.
Well, Scott, just think of all the interviews you and I would have got.
Oh my God!
I kid, of course. That's horrible, man.
Well, that is horrible. Was it a flu? Was it a?
Well, you know what? I mean, I didn't go to the doctor, but it was like we don't know because both my wife and I got sick at almost the exact same time. So we don't know if it was like a food poisoning or a stomach bug, but it was definitely not COVID related because we didn't have. We had classic either food poisoning symptoms or we had classic stomach bug symptoms. We didn't.
Nobody was running a temperature. No fevers.
Yeah, no high fevers. No congestion or coughing or lungs. It was all like a stomach nightmare. So, but with that being said, you know what? Our first guest, I promised this gentleman that I wouldn't keep him up late because the poor bastard is working like a dog to make some of the finest conventions in the Pennsylvania area. He's just a great guy. He's been, actually, I've been friends with him for now over a decade. And I've been blessed to do his first and every show since his wonderful Sci-Fi in the Valley Con. I consider them all like my family. I love them all dearly. And Scott came out with me on several occasions out to the wonderful Sci-Fi in the Valley Con. Without further ado, one of the up-and-coming superstars in the convention world, Mr. Casey Bassett. Hello, brother.
There he is.
Dave Madison, the only person who still calls the convention Sci-Fi in the Valley Con, and it hasn't been called that since the first year.
Well, what is it called?
Sci-Fi Valley. I dropped the in the after the first year.
You're literally busting my hump over in the. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. No, I actually dropped it for a significant reason because it was called Sci-Fi in the Valley because it was supposed to be in Johnstown where I live, and they have thunder in the valley. But whenever they gave me a bunch of problems with a bunch of city taxes and peddler's license stuff, and I had to move it, I intentionally dropped the in the to spite them. And so it was just Sci-Fi Valley Con.
So see,
some contextual history from 10 years ago.
You see, Casey, you got to have some mercy on old feeble Dave. I mean, I've hit my head way too many times. I'm now on the wrong side of 50. I've a lot of strange things have happened. Everybody out there, look at what a handsome son of a bitch this guy is, but don't tell me that he does not have, if you watch $1 Million Listings Los Angeles, Casey is Josh Flagg. I don't care what anybody says.
Let's get a shot of Josh Flagg up there.
You know what? He's gonna. One of you guys is gonna find the very, very worst picture of Josh Flagg.
I do have the nice pompadour hair. I just googled him here.
Yeah, you do. And you know what's funny? I think Josh Flagg is worth, all kidding aside, $1 billion with a B. Wow. And someday Casey is going to be right there with him because this guy knows what time it is. He knows what's going on. See, CJ Robles says, ha, 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 he does. Now, Casey, you just had a wonderful show in Pittsburgh. Tell everybody a little bit about MomentoCon and what it's about and when it's going to return and where it's going to return.
Yeah, well, some contextual history again. I started Sci-Fi Valley Con back in 2011. The first one was back in 2012, and we had Dave there, and it was in a tiny little ice rink in Ebensburg, and we had probably 50 tables there, and it was pretty janky. And then the next year we went up to Altoona to the Jaffa Shrine Center, and we were there for a few years until we moved over to the Blair County Convention Center. took us about 8 or 9 years, and then we eventually decided to do one in Pittsburgh called Memento Con, and we wanted to focus more on like the celebrity guests and doing like high-end like celebrity panels and things like that, but also integrate Comic-Con esque features as with gaming and vendors and stuff like that. So one of the things we kind of just organically evolved into is focusing on Supernatural, which my girlfriend was a huge fan of, and I haven't even finished the show actually. Most of the people who I've actually had at my conventions, I've never even actually seen the show because I haven't gotten that far. But it'll be interesting whenever I finally get caught up and I'm like, oh, I know this person. It'll be a different perspective because my girlfriend has been obsessed with Supernatural since she was like a little kid. Because it's been on show. It literally just finished its 15th season. Because I think they only had like 3 episodes left before the series finale, and then the pandemic hit, and basically screwed up the entire show because I think they had to change the ending and everything as a result for filming reasons. But because the show we were supposed to have Memento Con in May of 2020, Mother's Day weekend, and the show is supposed to finish its series finale like the weekend after or something like that. Like it was timed perfectly. I would have been like the last like Supernatural reunion convention like right before the series ended. And then the pandemic came in March and changed all that. And we ended up getting postponed 3 times from May of 2020 until August, I think it was. Yeah, and then once we started getting closer to August, we realized that wasn't going to happen. Pushed it back to May 2021. That wasn't going to happen. Pushed it to September. And we were finally able to have it. But it was still a challenge because we're still in the middle of a pandemic. And luckily, a lot of people have gotten their vaccines and stuff like that. And we took like every precaution. We had all the plastic shields. And I even made a special COVID doll box for the convention. It's also going to be at Sci-Fi Valley Con, where we just had like a 4x8 doll box that we had custom made with the Memento Con logo. And it's all like in a retro living room with a backdrop and a chair and the old 1950s Predicta TV. And there's hundreds, probably thousands of pictures all over the internet of different people who have got their photos in it. And it's like one of the best, in my opinion, ways of dealing with the pandemic pictures, because if anyone has seen any of the photos coming out of some of the conventions, they're just like dystopian plexiglass pictures where they just have them separated between them, and it's like Kirk and Spock on the other side of the plexiglass with their hand. It's just like, I didn't want that. I was like, but yeah, the doll box thing turned out fantastic. A lot of people really got into it and was able to be able to participate in a good photo with the guests and everything, and be able to interact without, and still be able to have all the precautions, because a lot of the guests were still concerned, and there's still a lot of people who haven't gotten vaccinated, and a lot of these actors are still working and stuff like that, so they have to be really careful. And that's part of the reason why we couldn't have, we had like 7 or 8 guests, because one of the things I was worried about during this pandemic is that the studios were going to open up at the same time as that the conventions were going to open up. And a lot of people we have are working actors, and as soon as the studios open back up, they're going to go do their filming instead of going to a convention. And Richard Speight Jr., who we were going to have, was directing Walker, and the studio didn't want him to leave. They couldn't take that chance. It's doing, quarantines and stuff like that. And, some of the other official Supernatural conventions and everything have just had to continue to push back because some of the actors are still filming, and I think like Jensen Ackles was in Canada maybe. And oh my God, if the stuff with Canada has just been getting people across the border and everything has just been such a nightmare.
It's funny that the box was actually, having that idea to take photos with the celebrities was actually a stroke of brilliance, because I've seen a lot of photos of recent conventions of people with like superstar, I'm not going to drop names because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but superstar actors who literally charge, like $250 to take a picture with. And the poor soul's there with a picture with this person, and the celebrity has a mask on. And you're literally like, dude, if somebody just dropped $250 to take a picture with you, take your fucking mask off, or don't do it. I mean, that's just the way I kind of look at it. Because is that person going to be like 20 years from now, hey, look, it's me and George Clooney. I swear that's him under the mask, whatever. I've just inserted the name. And, if you're going to do the photo ops, don't do it with your mask on, because it's just tacky.
I know.
Don't take somebody's money.
I've seen a certain actor too, particularly recently in some pictures, but they were inconsistent in it, which is like curious to me about why in some pictures they have the mask and some they don't. And I'm just wondering, well, it could also be that maybe they were asking people vaccinated or unvaccinated, because I know at my convention, Mark Shepard, I believe, was asking like each individual person if they were vaccinated or unvaccinated, and if they were vaccinated, he would take a picture with them. If they were unvaccinated, he'd get in the box.
Okay. Yeah, but that's still not covering his face.
Exactly. Yeah. And I even had clear mask options for the guests, so that for people who have issue like hearing impairment and stuff, to be able to read lips and stuff like that, we wanted to have some. So I even have some for sci-fi as well. We were like fully in charge. I think our one guest, Rob Benedict, actually utilized our plastic masks and everything whenever he was at his table for some of the hearing impaired people. But yeah, there's alternatives that they could use if they desired to. But I just feel like I also feel like some people are just burned out and just want to go there and don't care about if they have to wear the mask in a photo or not. But yeah, I didn't experience any of those issues at my convention, unfortunately, and everything worked out very well. The panels were amazing. They're all filmed too, and we'll end up putting them on our site eventually. They're probably going to end up being like a pay-per-view thing, because they turned out so well.
Oh, that's awesome.
I might end up utilizing Vimeo, because I think I ended up getting discovered by that from you, because I think, isn't that what the platform that you use for your rentals for your feature films and stuff like that?
Yeah. No, it's
so I'm probably
definitely
going to end up. I'll probably end up talking to you later about that at the con, about me setting that up, because we're in the process now of building a new website up. Because we're like, that was the one thing with Memento Con is I was getting it. I was running that at the same time as doing sci-fi, and I was basically just copying all of my aesthetics and everything from sci-fi and transitioning it over to Memento and using the same type of site and everything. And we were using WordPress on GoDaddy, and as I was scaling, I was realizing that I wasn't able to be using this platform, because I was having way too much traffic and e-commerce stuff and ticket sales. And then once we started having guest canceling, it was just like, this site is not designed for this, because it was too much having to do refunds and postponements and stuff like that. So fortunately, after this convention was over, we transitioned over to a new ticketing platform for Tixer. So now everything is being streamlined on a new professional system. It's the same one that Wizard World uses, and some of the other bigger conventions. It was perfect, because I got introduced to them during the pandemic, and it was just perfect timing, because they were just emerging with all the features that I needed, because they were a very custom built out platform. And they were designing the arena features so that people could pick all their seats and everything. And it was just the perfect. It was just, this stuff was being developed during the pandemic, and right as soon as I was ready to transition over to a new platform, it was like built out. And I was like, I couldn't have asked for a better circumstance, because some of the other ticketing platforms just weren't going to cut it, because I had too much of a specialized need of wanting to have a custom floor plan where you could pick your seat and everything, because I really wanted people to be able to pick their own seats instead of just being assigned one or whatever. And so yeah, we're in the process of doing that, and I'm in the process of building out a new website on Webflow, and we'll be transitioning over to that, and we'll be able to like put all kinds of like t-shirts and stuff on there, and some of the panels and things like that. And I'm hoping for sci-fi for next year, for 2022, I actually have some bigger plans that I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about bringing some bigger cartoon voice actors in, and I already have a whole bunch of names already lined up, and as soon as this convention's over, I'm going to end up announcing them.
Oh, sweet.
So people won't have to wait too long after this one to see what's going on for next year, because we're already less than a year away. Memento Con 2 is going to be Mother's Day weekend in 2022, which is May 7th through the 8th, and Sci-Fi is going to be mid-June 2022. I can't remember what the exact dates are. But having them like a month apart there has been kind of extremely overwhelming. It's kind of hard to focus on either of them when there's two different things happening at the same time. It's like fighting a war on two different fronts at the same time. And I was like, oh my God, I've learned in history not to do this. It's like, I'm going to lose if I keep on trying to do this.
Well, let me share with everybody. I have this thought. I personally have done probably between 25 and 30 different conventions. And the wonderful thing about your show, Casey, and I'm talking in this particular case, Sci-Fi ValleyCon. See, I got it right that time. In this particular case, it's such a fantastic show. It's the people who come out are all just looking to have a great time. There's one show in particular that had a whole slew of the Pirates of the Caribbean stars at it. And you had this band, and I really can't remember the name of the band. I think they might be a local band, but they were dressed like pirates. And they, right in the middle of the show, they started singing a song called We Drink and We Fight. And it was such a great song, and everybody in the entire hall, and I mean there was like hundreds, if not thousands of people, all singing the Pirates of the Caribbean stars, where you had somebody had like a bow of a boat. I'm sure you remember, it was your show. Oh, yeah. And everybody, guys, when I tell you I've never ever seen this at another convention, like one giant party of everybody laughing and singing and having a great time. And it was literally just like a moment of heaven. It was nerd heaven for everybody. And we had just such a wonderful time with that like gang of pirates singing this wonderful. I went out and bought the CD because the song, it's We Drink and We Fight. I don't remember the name of the band, but if you could look up that.
Bloody Seaman, I think is what.
Oh, the Bloody Seaman. That's right. What a great name.
They have two different names. They have a non. I can't think what the non. I think they have a more gentler name.
Listen,
used for other things, but
everybody watching this show or anybody who watches it, in replay, go out and seek out this song, "We Drink and We Fight" by the Bloody Seaman. And if you don't, Pittsburgh too, if you don't like that song, you get your head examined, because it was such a great song. And imagine that song playing, and all.
I might actually have the video. I think I took a video of that on my phone somewhere.
And there was a whole bunch of Pirates of the Caribbean stars, and I think Flash Gordon was sitting next to me, Sam J. Jones, and Nicholas Brendan was off in the corner humping a tree or something. But it was just a wonderful, wonderful time of everybody getting into a moment. And I've been at enormous cons, and all kidding aside, I've never seen anything that was more fun or more communal than that was. And that's the way every one of Casey's shows are. And that's why I literally, he was nice enough to have me back when he started. And then the second year, I think I brought Brian, and we kind of like became family. And now he's just like, I got to let that schmuck come, or he's going to cry to me over the phone. So I want to thank you for having me, Casey. But with that being said,
you're too far grandfathered in. I can't just be like, I can't have you come, Dave. It's like, it's like the 11th year. It's just too much. I can't.
I'm like the Zachary of that show. I'm like the old sad guy that. But it's funny. I've met so many wonderful people out there, and so many friends I've now made. Sadly, my favorite Mexican restaurant's not there anymore. So Casey, you're gonna have to.
I was just talking about that.
You're gonna have to tell me about another wonderful. But all kidding aside, your show's fantastic. I always wanted to ask you this: was there ever? I'm not going to ask you. Did you ever have a guest who was just a total prick that made you upset? Because that's not. That's not
a good one.
No, I'm sure you do.
I won't talk about it, though.
Gee, thank you, Joe. It was very kind of you. But was there one that was ever so wonderfully charming that it was so awesome to have them? And like let's say you actually kind of like admired them before the show, and then they showed up and they were awesome, and it just made you feel great about it.
I mean, the first person who comes to my head is Rob Paulson, because he is like just the most wholesome person. And I when I first started my convention, a friend of mine who worked at the local video store at Saturday Matinee, his name was Glenn Barbas. He was the one who was helping me get all this stuff organized, and he was more involved in conventions than I was, and went to the Pittsburgh Comic-Con a bunch of times, and was a real big Kevin Smith fan and everything, and was a big part of the Clerks' influence on me. And he was a huge Rob Paulson fan, and pulled out some old tapes from when he was like back in the 90s and stuff like that, and talked about all the times that they met him at conventions, stuff like that. I mean, even before he had blown up into the name he is now. But he was big for decades. He was even big back then. But when he came, it's like you just never know the personas of people that they put out there whenever they're in panels and stuff like that. But then whenever I actually get to meet them behind stage, I realize real quickly what is a mask and what isn't, whenever I actually have to work with people and they're like genuine. And I mean, so that's why I love the voice actors, because so many of them are just so genuine and authentic and kind. And Rob Paulson was just one that was just so great. And so many of the other ones I've had to work with too. I remember John Rhys Davies also was very charming and amazing to meet too, because I mean, yeah, he was Gimli in Lord of the Rings, and this huge figure or whatever, and has such a huge resume of films he's done over the decades. And then just me standing in the back watching his panel, and he's just going on about, the different, actors that he's met on Lord of the Rings and some of the stories and stuff like that. It's just like, makes your eyes water up with some of the stuff that they, some of the experiences that they had that they can share with people. So that's one of the best things I've liked about the con, is being able to have those more intimate, connections with some of these guests and stuff like that, and to share their experiences that they've had. Because I mean, most of the people who come to the show are local, and we're stuck here in the middle of central Pennsylvania, and a lot of us don't ever get out. So whenever we actually get to have these people come, I mean, they're so much more appreciated, and it's such a more valuable experience for everyone, pretty much, because it's a smaller, more intimate show with these people, and get to have a much better experience with them and more time. And I mean, and we have all the artists and dealers and stuff like that, and so many other things other than just the guests. We have all the video game things, and all kinds of different live demos and stuff like that are happening constantly. And yeah, and there's just all kinds of things that just organically happen that I can just put it all together and it just happens. Mm-hmm. I really don't know how to explain it. I mean, whenever the whole pirate thing happened, I didn't plan that. It wasn't organized. We had, Kevin McNally there, and the other guys, the other one slips my name, slips my mind. But yeah, we had the pirate ship there, and they just all started singing, and they were all standing up, and I was like, this is amazing.
It was really just, it was one of those moments that I will never, ever forget. I mean, it was just something so organic and cool about it. And what you were saying earlier about the town, when I would go there with Brian and Scott, and we'd go to like the local Applebee's or a local restaurant, there'd literally be like a line of people looking to talk to these guys. I mean, they were like, the fans out there are so amazing, and they're just so awesome. It's just like it's just a wonderful vibe. You have you're blessed to be able to work in that area, because you seem to have a lot of wonderful people come out. It's not like that everywhere, brother, so you're very lucky. Trust me. There's a lot of, like, if you're in the Northeast, they're a lot more jaded, and so you have a wonderful show. So what's going on at Sci-Fi in the ValleyCon? It's next weekend. I'm super jacked and super excited to be coming out. But what would the folks who are coming out have to look forward to next weekend? Who's going to be there? What do you got planned? What's cooking?
Well, a couple guests. We had a few guests postponed, but not as many as Memento. I think we're gonna have like a few. I think John Noble had. I think he's actually going to be in Pittsburgh because he's doing a play, I believe, the same weekend, because he was obligated to go to that. But hopefully we'll have him back next in 2022. But we have Chad Lindbergh, who was in Fast and Furious. We have Emily Swallow, who was in The Mandalorian, who plays the Armorer, and she was also in Supernatural as the Darkness. Julian Richings would be there. He was also in Supernatural as Death. He was also in Cube and Wrong Turn. Mindy Sterling's going to be there, who was in Austin Powers as
I loved her
Frau.
in Austin Powers, man. She was so funny.
Yeah, I know she's going to be fantastic. Everything I've heard about her has been so many wonderful things. Everyone who seems to have an encounter with her has nothing but good things to say. So it'd be great to see her. That's why I'm so glad. I'm so great that that's another thing. I'm so blessed to be able to find these guests that are all just. So I would say probably like 95% of the guests that I've had have all been just really fantastic people, and I know that that's a rare thing because I know that there's a lot of people who
Suck.
just go to basically and just want to go to make money.
Yeah.
But so many of the ones that we've had at the show, it's like they're very well vetted, and I feel like the agents who I work with are really good at representing people who actually want to be there and meet people, and are really actually interested in meeting the fans and being engaged. Jim Cummings is another one we have. Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, he's notoriously famous. I can't wait to meet him. Sam Jones, we're going to be having back. The old Flash Gordon, he'll be there Friday and Saturday because I think that he has to be in Jersey on Sunday for something. So we'll have him out there. Sam is always so fun and
Very nice guy.
He's always on. He's always hustling. He's such a great guy. I texted him. I was like, Sam, I'm working on the lunch schedule, but I know you like the hustle. So should I even give you a lunch hour? He's like, I'll just eat at my table. And I was like, that's fine. I was like, my girlfriend has a great story about him getting meatloaf at the last convention and eating his chicken and stuff like that. I was just like, it's always these funny little stories that people always take away too. It's like Sam Jones could just be eating his chicken at his table. But my girlfriend would be with him and she'll have a lifetime story about the time that she was with Flash Gordon eating his chicken. We also have a couple different, we have 3 different girls from Avatar The Last Airbender, Olivia Hack, Jessie Flower, and Jenny, I think it's Kwan. I can't remember how to say her last name, but they're all going to be there. We're going to have Gigi Edgley, who was in Farscape. She's been really super too. I've been talking to her actually on a more personal level and emails, stuff like that, and she's really hyped to come. So it's great to be seeing. Yeah, and I'm seeing all these people, all these different guests have been doing conventions like every single week, and people have just been so pent up for the past 2 years. It's really great to see things finally starting to get back to normal and see a lot of the guests finally being able to go out to conventions and people being able to go to them and stuff like that, because it's been a challenge the past 2 years for everybody.
I can't even imagine being on that side of things. I can't wrap my head around what to expect at going back to a show. It's been so long.
Have you been back any yet, Sean?
I haven't been anywhere. I haven't been anywhere in quite a while. It feels like forever. But I'm forgetting. Not that I'm forgetting about COVID, but now as we're speaking, and you're sharing some pretty awesome stuff. I'm realizing. Well, I think in Rhode Island it's mandatory masks. So I guess that is what it is, right?
Yeah. Well, at Memento, we had a mask mandate because the guests and the agents were adamant about it. So we had a mask mandate for that one. We were doing temp checks at the door. But at Sci-Fi, we're not having as high as restrictions because, it's like it's also like a local thing. Like here in like Central PA, there's, so many. It seems relatively normal back here. Like most people, as far as I know, are vaccinated, and a lot of people are going shopping, and everything seems normal here. But I know it's different all over the country and even all over the state and stuff like that in different regions. But as long as people, all we just need to do is have people get vaccinated. And if we can just get those numbers up, then we can all get back to normal.
Yes, everybody out there watching tonight, do your family, your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones a favor and get vaccinated. Don't believe the political hype around it, because that's just not going to do anything but get you sick. So if you ever get this particular voice actress, she's from Gravity Falls, and her name is Kristen Schaal, I think. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, I know that name. I know that person.
I'll have to look her up.
Kristen Schall. She's from Gravity Falls, and she was from this show that that just went on. It was a huge hit on Disney. The Benedict Society, maybe it was called. I don't remember.
She might have been Flight of the Conchords too.
Yeah, she's an enormous superstar in the voice acting field. If you get her there, I'm sure my daughter will wash your car for the rest of the year. Literally drive out to central Pennsylvania and wash your car for the rest of the year. You know what's funny? Did you guys notice that when he was talking about all the cool celebrities he was having at the show this year?
Oh, I know her.
He forgot,
I know her. I know her agent, actually. I have reached out to him about her, I think. Oh, yeah, but she's expensive.
Oh, is she?
I know who she is.
Really?
As soon as I saw her face, I was like, oh, I recognize her. She's more than just a voice actress.
I would not have thought that though. Really?
She's on, because it's not like you say her name.
She was in that show that we watched on Fox that got canceled. Last Man on Earth, right? Yeah, she's Carol.
Oh, okay.
Last Man on Earth. Yeah.
If it's who I'm thinking, she has been in a ton of stuff.
But she's in all fairness, it's not like a name that rolls off your tongue like
No, not at all.
No. She's a very recognizable
not many
face.
people are anymore. I mean, we live in a world of everybody's a celebrity for 15 minutes now.
I'm still
And she's
waiting
in
for my
Bob's
15.
Burgers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she was at Sci-Fi, we'd have a lot of people there, I bet you.
No, I think she'd be pretty awesome, but what the hell do I know? So you mentioned earlier that you had a story about a celebrity that you didn't like. And I'm not going to put you on the spot at all. But all I'm going to ask you is, because I think I know who it is it a male or a female?
It's a male.
Oh, I'm shocked. Okay. I thought the year of John Rhys Davis that there was a particular female that you were having at that show that was quite nightmarish. But maybe I
know what you're referring to, but I think that the other situation I had was more of a that was just more of a challenging situation. That wasn't that big of a deal, but I think I know what you're talking about, but no, that wasn't the person I'm talking about. Just wouldn't show up at their table, and then sat at their hotel, and I'm like, why would I have you come in here Thursday night for you to spend all day Friday in your hotel? And then people messaged me on Twitter that they came and you weren't there. So there are the situations that I've had to deal with the next day behind.
I think I know what you're talking about, and as the great Huey Lewis said, you got to get back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Little hint there, little clue. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I probably told you about it. I was probably screaming about it that day. Because you're always there. You're always the one who gets. Whenever the biopic happens, they're going to be coming to Dave Masson because they're going to want to know what happened at all the events.
Yes, and I'm going to get Josh Flagg to play you.
Okay.
I got it all lined up. It's either Josh Flagg or Chris Evans. You got a little Chris Evans thing going on now.
Okay. I always said Jesse Eisenberg because I think he could probably capture my I don't know.
Well, he's definitely would be more of your persona and your personality, but no, you don't look anything like Jesse Eisenberg. Why are you cursing yourself like that?
He doesn't look like Zuckerberg either, but
that's
he
true.
played that movie the way he wanted to.
So the big show is this weekend, Sci-Fi ValleyCon in Altoona. It is in Altoona, right?
Altoona, yep, at the Blair County Convention Center. It'll be October 8th through the 9th. We got panels all weekend. Let's see here. Friday is going to be Sam Jones, Gigi Edgley, and Mindy Sterling. On Saturday, it'll be a supernatural panel with Chad Lindbergh, Emily Swallow, and Jolene Richings, since they were all three in the show. And then also followed that with Jim Cummings. And then we'll be doing, at the end of the day on Saturday, an Avatar: The Last Airbender panel. And then on Sunday, we're having Emily Swallow solo panel, where she can talk about The Mandalorian. And after that, it would be Chad Lindbergh, where he talk about Fast and the Furious or Supernatural or October Sky or whatever else that he was in that people would like to talk about. And there's all kinds of other things. We have other panels going on all weekend long with a bunch of independent artists and different workshops and stuff like that happen. If you go to our website at sci-fi-valleycon.com, right on the homepage is the whole program. It's 24 pages long. It's a PDF. You can just download it. You can see everything that's going on. We have the Supernatural car there. It has all the times and prices for photo ops for all the guests. And let's see here. I'm just scrolling through it. There's our menu, which is really fantastic. Chef Tom there is just the greatest convention chef, and they have like the most extremely reasonable prices for like the best convention food. And we've got tons of different gaming and all kinds of different rooms, board games, video games, Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and all kinds of fun stuff. So
you know
it'll be
what?
fun.
You forgot one of the events. On Saturday night, I'll be appearing at the local Applebee's, playing 3-card Monty right outside the main entrance. So please come. There'll be that bent ace, of course, that makes you believe that you're picking the right card, but, you know, slight.
And Saturday night after the convention at the bowling alley.
I was going to ask about the bowling. The bowling was always so much fun, man.
Yep, we have. It's back again. We have our karaoke, I think, for the third year. I can't even remember. Yeah, the third year. We have karaoke back again. People love it. When I had it the first year, and we had Tracy Thompson there from Rent. It was just a blast. Because she had, I think it might have been like her first or second convention. And,
we went there. I was at that.
Brian sang War Pigs that night.
That's right. It's filmed somewhere. That's totally right. Because the DJ quit. That's right. Because the karaoke guy kept on screwing up at the beginning. He kept on like having false starts, and I remember Brian just getting annoyed.
Brian getting annoyed never happens.
Yeah, he's just like, oh my god, can we start this?
So Scott, yeah, I think you've done sci-fi in the ValleyCon maybe 3 or 4 times now.
At least.
Do you have any specific memory that you want to share that you remember specifically?
Well, that was a pretty good night. What we were just talking about, that bowling alley night was pretty awesome. I forget the cat's name from the cast of 21 Jump Street, the original show. He was the captain.
Stephen Williams.
Oh, Stephen Williams. Yeah,
he was pretty
hilarious.
awesome. He is. I enjoyed him, and wow, that was a great bowling night. It's just always a good time there, man. Always.
I thought you were going to say the night that you, myself, Brian, and Marilyn did that Mexican commercial at the Mexican restaurant.
Well, like you said, that's sadly gone now, isn't it?
Yeah. It was.
That really was an amazing place to eat.
We had our Three Amigos moment there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All kidding aside, Casey, you're wonderful at what you do. Thank you for everybody who gets to enjoy your shows, because you bring a lot of happiness to a lot of people by putting together such wonderful events. So, and before we let you go, Case, let everybody know what shows we have coming up. We have Sci-Fi ValleyCon this weekend, which you just plugged, and you have MomentoCon again. You said Mother's Day, correct?
Yep, it'll be coming. Let me just look at my phone here to tell you the exact dates. But yes, Sci-Fi ValleyCon is coming up this weekend for October 8th through the 9th. And then we will be having MomentoCon 2 on May 7th through the 8th, 2022. And Sci-Fi ValleyCon 10, I believe, yes, because pandemic screwed up my numbering system, is going to be June 17th through the 19th of 2022. So gives me an extra week to get ready for that one after MomentoCon. But I'm definitely going to have to change these dates because I can't be having 2 conventions back to back. It is way too much work.
I hear you.
Got it, man.
Well, first off, I want to thank you so much, because when I asked you to do this, you said, like, I go to bed early, dude. And I was like, I'll have you on for 10 minutes. But because our guest, Ari Lehman, he's Jason. He could be out killing people for all we know. Didn't show up and
MIA.
Yeah, MIA. Didn't even call. This is the first time. I feel
Just
like a
totally ghosted you. That
yeah,
really
he ghosted
sucks.
me. Yeah. I've had like
Having that situation
I've
myself.
had like people who were up for Academy Awards on here. I've had people and Ari just gave me the big F you. So I want to thank you, Casey, for stepping in, for pinch hitting, for me having to keep you up to 10:50. When you see me next week, you could hit me with a piece of bologna and say, "You
I'll
prick,
be up
you
late for a long while here."
With that being said, Casey, thank you so much, brother. I'll see you next weekend. Thank you for being on the show. And everybody, Sci-Fi ValleyCon next weekend in Altoona, Pennsylvania, at the Civic Center?
Blair County Convention Center.
The Blair County Convention Center. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. You think I would know? I've been there.
I'm older than you, and I remember.
What?
I say I'm pushing 60, and I remember Blair Convention Center or something.
Dude, you don't remember what you had for breakfast. Who are you kidding?
This is true.
Again, everybody, Casey Bassett. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you. Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Bassett. He's a great guy. He really is. And you know what's great? He does. There are a lot of people out there who do conventions, as Scott will tell you, who do it for the wrong reasons, who are doing it to either rub elbows with other celebrities, or to make. Most of them are in it to just make cash. And what's great about that young man is that he always keeps his prices reasonable, in check. He has prices for children to come in the show, and he just does it the right way. He does it because he loves the material. He loves all the fans who come out. He's just a good guy. He does it the right way. So, with that being said, we have less than 10 minutes in the show. And I want to apologize wholeheartedly because I take this very, very, very seriously. As Joe and Scott will tell you, we all three of us take this show. You can tell which ones are totally in it for the money. I know CJ. He's a great guy. Scott and Joe will tell you that all three of us take this show incredibly seriously. And this has never ever happened on the show. Never. I'm sorry, and I'm embarrassed that our guest didn't come on tonight. I hope he's okay. I hope nothing happened to him. But with that being said, we're sorry because I take October shows especially seriously. I mean, I call this every day is like Halloween the 1st, Halloween the 2nd, Halloween the 3rd. Today's Halloween the 3rd. And, we had, Jason, the original Jason, all lined up to be on here tonight. So, I don't know. He had something he was doing in New York State, and perhaps his flights got delayed or whatever. So I wholeheartedly apologize to everyone out there who was looking for Ari on the show tonight. Ari, I hope you're okay. With that being said, Scott,
Yes,
what's going on with you in your world? Are you feeling better?
I am. I muddled through that, and I sent you a sort of like a red flag note earlier because I was having less than stunning things going on in my body, and I was worried I'd have to run out, but I didn't have to run out. It worked out.
You need a bottle of ginger ale. Jason,
You're
got to be
absolutely
killing
right.
a lot of people for missing
this.
Yeah.
Ah. Hey, well, listen, it happens.
No. I want to thank CJ Robles for actually allowing me to go to sleep early because I literally was going to plop my ass on that couch behind me and watch the Jets game for the next 3.5 hours. So now that I know they won, what the hell would I do that for? That would be just a mess. But
and now you're going to be on a high because they actually won.
Yeah, I know. Now when I'm done with this, I'm going to have to go on and see like what happened and the statistics and all those things that geeks do. So the Giants won today too, huh?
Yeah, in overtime.
They did in overtime. Yeah.
You know what, guys? It's only 28 days away. The immortal Vincent Price. You didn't even put up my freaking convention card while I was talking to the convention promoter.
Zing!
I'll be there this weekend if anybody cares.
It's because you kept saying the wrong convention.
Oh, what? Because I put the in the valley there? I give up.
Oh man!
I'm amazed that you aren't going to listen to it on your AM/FM transmitter.
Wow, CJ. Getting spunky in his old age.
Come on, Scott, you got to go with the zing on that, brother.
Wow. Well, I was just going to say that on Halloween night, we're going to be hanging out with Vincent Price from the other side. So I think that's pretty epic. There we go. Even Vincent looks like he's laughing at me instead of with me. He's like, oh, Dave is such an asshole. Oh.
Well, he met you. He knows.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I kid.
My hair parted weird today.
Hey, guys, everybody that has joined us tonight, please make sure you go to David Lee Madison's The End of the Night on Facebook. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. Same thing with the Indie Escape on Facebook and YouTube. Like, subscribe, please. Doesn't cost you anything, and every bit helps.
Every bit helps. So I plan on doing a show next week, but I'll be coming.
plan on
Oh wait, I was going to ask you. Is that not crazy tight? Like, what time would you?
It's
even
going to be tight, but if you guys got to pinch hit for me, you guys pinch it. That's why you guys are so much better at this than I am. So what the hell?
On that. So you're on the 8th and
I'm
what days
at
are you
all
on?
3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be at the Sci-Fi ValleyCon in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And you can come out and make fun of my receding hairline. You could tell me that I need Just for Men for my facial hair. And, dude, you got some serious white getting in there. I think it's the whole pressure of buying a house and all this responsibility. And it's catching up with you quickly, my friend.
The responsibilities of a 45-year-old.
Yes. Luciana and feet. What about and feet? What does that mean? Tell me what that means.
and feet?
You're talking about Just for Men? Nah,
Just
I
for
got
Men foot hair coloring? I have no idea. I'm always interested when a beautiful woman brings up feet. So I'm curious to see
Feet.
what the beautiful woman meant.
And now
by
we know what
feet.
one of David's fetishes are.
Oh,
right.
David, you name it, I have a fetish. Make fun of them along with your hairline.
Oh, yeah, because you
Oh,
got some bony, nasty feet. You posted that picture that one day, and nobody actually believed that they were your feet.
Why wouldn't they believe that
Wow,
they're my
I
feet?
forgot all about that.
Because they're size 15 or because they're ugly?
You're
They
not
look-
really a 15, are you?
Yeah.
They look
Really?
lycanthropy. Lycanthropy?
Look at that bad boy. That's a
That's-
big foot.
I got a small foot and it's embarrassing, but that's twice the size of my foot.
You know what they say about men with big feet?
They had
I
big
do
egos.
know. I do know.
Big,
and,
big shoes. Big shoes. I wish I could forget. Oh, man.
You see,
Oh,
yeah, we all remember that picture now, and it's
Now
like
I've-
we were all like, "BS, that is not your." And then you're like, "Yeah, that's my actual foot," and we're like, "Okay."
Well, I am 6'7". Wouldn't I look kind of stupid if I had like size 8 feet?
Well, we were just talking about the bone structure. Of
I
your
would
feet.
tilt
They were
over in the
scary.
rain. Bone
Especially-
structure? It's a foot. What is it
Well,
supposed
no,
to look
the,
like?
the angle of the picture that you took that night. It was.
I know. You just want to pick on me. You're not my
I mean,
friend.
I'm 5'10" and I have a size 12, but
wow,
Hey,
I'm
look at this
5.
picture I
got-
just found of me 30 years ago. What a handsome fella. I'm hanging out with a horse. Look at that. Skinny, cowboy boots, handsome.
Wild West City.
Wild West City, circa 1990.
so when are you doing your next convention there, Dave?
My convention doing days, as far as like hosting them, are over.
No.
But maybe even my convention attending days are over, to be honest with you. This might be my last one, so we'll see.
Well, you heard it here first, then, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to elaborate on why that would be?
Oh no, I don't want anybody to worry about like it's not health related or anything. You know, it's funny. I'm this may sound, I don't know, wishy-washy or terrible, but there's a lot of things about this industry and this line of work that just don't sit on me as well as they should. So who knows? I might
And
just
the
be a cobbler.
Conventions being a part of that.
No. Conventions I adore. I adore meeting people.
Why would
I
you
adore
stop
meeting- Because there are peripheral things that if I talk about on here, like a lot of people who I'm very close with are going to say you're a dick. You should say stuff like that. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But there are a lot of, I don't know. Okay, this has nothing to do with anything. If you are a ridiculous, pick any MCU guy. Tom Hiddleston, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. Those guys have more money than they could ever imagine to need to that you could ever spend. And then you go to like a Wizard World con or one of the really enormous cons, and you see that Robert Downey's there, or Chris Evans there, or Tom Hiddleston's there, and they're charging kids, 275, 300, 350, even up to $500. I saw Affleck was charging $500 at a con to take a picture with him.
Who was that? Who did it?
Affleck.
Really?
Yeah. And
When
then
was this?
I want to say either 18 or 19. He was in Philly, as I recall. He doesn't do very many. The really enormous stars, the really enormous, even Stallone is notorious for charging these numbers that are absolutely through the roof. And I find it distasteful to do that to your fans. And I'm sorry, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination wealthy, but I don't charge for pictures. I sign, if you bring the movie to me that you bought of mine, I just sign it. If you buy the movie from me, I sign it. So, I mean, I look at it more as a loving thing between myself and the very few fans I have out there. And I don't like looking at it as much as a cold-hearted business. Like if somebody came up to me and they traveled for hours to come meet me, can I take a picture with you, Mr. Madison, or something? I'm not going to say, yeah, give me $25. I'll be like, yeah, you like my film? You like my stuff? Awesome. Take a picture with me. So I may not be cut out for that. I never have been. And that's kind of not a good way to be when you're sitting in a row with a bunch of people who look at it differently. So with that being said, I would charge you for my... Thank you, Luciana. That's very kind of you. I'm not charging me for it. Are you coming out to Sci-Fi in the ValleyCon? No, she can't. She doesn't live anywhere near...
Texas.
Is she in Texas?
I believe so.
I thought she was like in Ohio or something. I don't know. So with that, that's, it's just a weird kind of thing. It's just a me thing. And,
well, certainly there's got to be some kind of happy medium, because you're not suggesting that all folks would be there without any monetary thing happening whatsoever. I don't believe a huge star should charge an exorbitant amount, but very reasonable.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
It's reasonable.
No, there are a lot of genre stars who are not as visible in the industry anymore, or not as working, who desperately need the money, and I totally understand that. I have a much bigger problem with the star who's worth 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars, who are charging kids to sign and to take pictures. That's really just, I do conventions and stuff, and I just, I don't think that's cool. But what the hell do I know? Maybe that's why they have $70 million, because they do stuff like that. So,
no, I mean, on a lot of levels, when you talk about people of that nature, it is a little shocking to me. I didn't realize there were some of these cats out there doing that. That seems pretty crappy, but I'm surprised that they're not in a minority.
No,
who's going to pay that? Who's going to pay $500 for a signature?
People doing it.
They are doing it.
You can't be anybody who comes from meager means. I couldn't afford to pay that my entire childhood for one autograph.
Well, right. But I mean, you think about the ultimate fanboy or fangirl. They're their biggest fan. They're gonna unfortunately do it, and I would hope at least some of it's going to charity if they're charging that much.
I just can't get over. I guess I have not seen that myself anywhere.
I was at a show literally 3 tables away from an actor who I know is easily worth $250 million, $250 million easily, and he had a line that went around the block in New York City, and he was charging $225 to get his autograph, and then an additional $125 to take his picture. And I was just like, and
what show was that?
I think if I said that, it would give away who it was. But he would shake the person's hand, and then as he was signing it, he would pull the person across his table so that the next person could move in. And it was just like, I'd watch that. And actually, if you want to know who that is, watch YouTube Bruce Campbell talking about a celebrity, and you'll see who I'm talking about. And it just befuddles me. Like, I'm meager means compared to a lot of these people, but I mean, there are just some folks I couldn't take money from. I just couldn't. So with that being said, I have no idea. Who knows? I know I'm going to be lambasted. Luckily, there's only 8 people watching the show tonight. Everybody who's watching the show, please be quiet. Don't say that what I said tonight because it's gonna. I'm going to be canceled. Literally, Joe. I'll be canceled.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, you think so? Sometimes for when you say what you feel, what's right.
I've been burned many times. As you well know, I've been burned many times. For
Like
saying
somebody,
what's right.
somebody right here said that they it looks like they spent a fortune for Stan Lee. Now, but you know what? That might actually be a different ball of wax because I don't think Stan Lee was as rich as people thought he was.
But Stan Lee signed everything.
Right.
There are so many out there, so it's not like it's a rarity. It's not like it's.
Well, I think you're you're kind of on a slippery slope in the sense of what is the issue? If somebody is stupid, crazy, wealthy, they shouldn't be selling their autograph for astronomical amounts of money, or is it a matter of nobody's worth that amount of money for a signature, no matter what they're worth? Or is there a reasonable place where people, because it became monetized, I think, because of what, in the 90s, because of eBay, people started selling autographs and all of a sudden they became monetized?
I agree with you, David. That's why I've soured on many bigger cons because it's all about the money for these Wizard World and Comic Cons, and you get 10 seconds with many of these stars for hundreds of dollars. It's sickening. Props to you for saying it. Well, thank you. I mean, all kidding aside, if like tomorrow, if a year from now, Full Moon Fever catches fire and becomes like one of the biggest cult classic horror films of all time, and I become a super well-known celebrity, I'm not going, especially if like the financial gains of my film, propel me to greater things. The last thing I'm going to do is pass it on to my fans. I'm not going to be like, ooh, I'm super famous now. I'm going to charge you $250 to take a picture with me. I mean, that would just make me sign and take pictures and do all that stuff for free even more. Because I'd be like, I don't need the money.
McDonald's theory, at least, I mean, okay, minimal cost and more people.
Right. I will give out props to Jamie Lee Curtis, who I know on her last 2 or 3 shows. She does very little shows, but she charges a good deal of money. But all of the money, all of the signing money went to a charity of her liking. I think it was either an animal. Now, who knows if Sylvester Stallone or Ben Affleck or Robert Downey Jr. or any of these people who are worth ridiculous amounts of money do that? We don't know. And then I apologize. But I suspect if you're going to sign for that and then not let people be aware of where the money's going, you're probably keeping it for yourself. But what do I know?
Well, I mean, I've got so many questions. I've never been invited to a con or anything, but I mean, is that income, is that taxable right then and there, or is that?
No, I think you report it later.
Okay.
Well, it all depends. There are some cons that cut checks. It depends on the agreement, and then that's really on the radar, which it should be.
And that's
But of course, cash is usually up to the guest's discretion of how honest they are.
Yep. And that's actually another reason why I admire Casey and his show so much. He has some really wonderful guests, but he makes sure that everybody, does the honorable thing and not really. Mike Verone, hey bitch, another fan.
I don't know who he's talking.
I think he's talking to me. Hi, Mike. It's very glad. I'm glad to see that you are standing on your hind legs. Actually.
Somebody you met in prison?
Yeah, somebody I met in prison.
Hell, Mike.
I mean, I give a chunk of what I get on the website to the Angels of Animals,
Oh, I hear you.
which makes me feel good about, because I wouldn't I wouldn't like hawk it like it was something amazing, but it does help the animals, and the people dig it.
Well, like
No,
what you're
absolutely.
doing with the gum and the autographs and everything. That's phenomenal. That's awesome.
Well, not every penny goes to the animals, to be clear.
Well, no, but a percentage
Right.
does. Absolutely.
Right,
We get
right. Well, it makes it's a good feeling that it's not like you're extorting somebody who's maybe, and let's face it, unless you have a huge following, if you're a little cult thing, you respect the people that like you enough to even give you that time, and whatever. So
Yeah, I think.
last thing I would do is extort somebody.
Yeah, I think my point is more towards like the enormous superstar who has more money than they could ever spend, and yeah, and that sadly is just a part of the whole thing, and that's probably why I find it distasteful. So what the hell, I know. Oh, it's funny. This Mike Verone. He says he's going to see me at Freedom Fest. Now listen to this, guys. This is going to blow your mind. There's this gun company up here owned by the Moonies. The Reverend Sung Young Moon, and they have a gun store up here, but they also are connected to a church that has ceremonies where people bless their guns. Think about that for a moment.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, what's funny? Actually, I think it's horrifying. I mean, Trump's son was up at this thing. It's just like. Yeah, and I think he's because I'm vocal about in the neighborhood about how dangerous they are. I think he's one of their disciples. So he's
How dangerous guns are?
no, how dangerous a cult who sells firearms, and then on top of it has ceremonies where people bless their guns. I think even some people marry their guns, which is think about that for a minute. Think about what you're missing that you so desperately need that extension. Of a gun. So, but that being said, whatever. Anything else going on, fellas, before we call it a night?
Scott. No pressure.
Hey, well, no, hey, my good people. I love each and every one of you. I really do. From the heart. Thank you for all the support. Got Rhode Island coming up. I don't know how it's going to go with the pandemic now. I'm realizing it's going to be very different. So we're going to work through it all together. I guess we got to be safe. Safety's much better than, a little elbow meet and greet. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be nice to see the rest of my castmates, though. And hopefully we'll all be safe with COVID.
Nice.
No,
And for anybody who doesn't know what that is, bam. And look at all the people from Clerks that are going to be there. Holy
A once in a lifetime event. And
Second time, apparently. I got corrected last time.
No, I don't think Jeff has ever been to any.
Well, no, it wasn't this is going to be the biggest Clerks reunion. Scott said, I believe that there was one that was or it was just a different person. I'm sorry.
Are you saying that I said yes or no to something? Let me clarify. I don't want to mislead anybody.
Oh, no. I think last time we were on, did it match the same amount of Clerks people in this con to a prior con, but one of the members was different, I believe.
No, I think, to my knowledge, the one that I'm a part of, this is the most. And there's an individual that's not on that black and white photo as well, which I feel terrible. It's the second time.
I didn't mean to misspeak.
But I think
is that the gentleman who's dating Kevin's daughter, who's also in the movie? Is that the right?
No. He was in Clerks too, and he has the really funny bit about he gets under Randall's skin with the Lord of the Rings argument.
Oh, that guy.
And he's hilarious.
Movies.
Yeah, he's very, very recognizable, and I feel terrible because I can't name him.
Kevin Weissman,
There
as
you
CJ
go.
tells us again.
Believe me, Kevin Weissman doesn't know no Scott Schiaffo either. Oh, the Truly's guy, yeah.
Wait. How did you just say your last name?
Schiaffo.
Is that Schiaffo? It's Schiaffo?
That's how it really is in Italian. Oh, now I'm going to... I didn't mean that, in Italian.
Oh, my
Hey,
God. We've been
I'm a
saying his
guinea.
name
It's all
wrong
good.
for like 2 years now.
Schiaffo.
Schiaff.
Did you watch the Sopranos movie, Scott?
I have not seen that yet. I'm seeing it's getting a lot of harsh...
Criticism?
Yeah. That's sad. I hope it's good. I mean, gee, it's like pretty big legacy to let out a stinker.
Right? I mean, I was going to watch it tonight, but I had this thing.
So there you go. With that being said, again, I want to thank Casey Bassett for joining us tonight. He was awesome. Look up Sci-Fi Valley Con in Altoona this weekend, which I'll be appearing at with a whole bunch of really cool, wicked stars going to be out there. He's got Memento Con in Pittsburgh. Check him out on all his social medias. Again, I want to apologize to everybody who was looking for Ari Lehman tonight. I don't know where he is, but maybe we'll have him on in the future. Maybe we won't. I have no idea. And next week, look for the show. I think we'll be on. If I have to like roll in late, will one of you slackers do the show for us?
Brother, I got to give you a lot of credit, though, man. That's a hell of a drive. And then you're going to do the show, huh? Mm-hmm. You're a better man than I.
No, it's Halloween. We have to do the show.
Halloween? Next week's not Halloween.
No, it's Halloween month.
The October month of Halloween.
Well, you've got way more stamina than I do. You've got like a size 15 foot.
Well, there you go. Which is great if you're like walking in the deep snow. Yes, because it's like a snowshoe.
Which you know a little something about.
I might know a little bit of that. I was at my wit's end, actually. With that being said, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I guess this is probably a better night than any for fun. Do you have anything you want to part with, Joe, before we...
Just, again, everybody who is joining us still, go over to David Lee Madison's The End of the Night Facebook page. Like, subscribe. Also, go to the Indie Escape Facebook page and YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Again, it doesn't cost you a thing. You don't have to even hit the bell button. Just like it, and it'll do us a huge favor.
And remember, everybody out there, no man is a failure who has friends. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.